What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Grid Talk Talks the Grid. I'm Mile, and today I'm joined with Jacco, Fem, and Franz, and we will talk about some tracks that we don't have in the F1 calendar this year, because as we all know, we have a doubleheader in Austria coming up. I mean, right now, when we're filming this, we haven't seen any race yet, so nothing that we can say about that. We can't look into the future, sadly. I wish we could, but it's impossible. So we decided to instead talk about tracks that maybe would have been more interesting than a doubleheader in Austria, as well as a little rumor that just came up. We just got a message in our very trusty group chat, which is about a new rule that the FIA wants to apparently introduce at the Hungarian GP. And it is supposed to make the pit stops longer, because some people seem to feel like it is very dangerous to have a pit stop that lasts only 1.8 seconds, because apparently the risk of having an unsafe release is very high. Let's just ask, what do we think about this? Do we think this is a reasonable thing to care about? Do we think this is bullshit? But like, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this rumor that is going around? Nothing official yet.
Well, I think it's nonsense. Like, I don't know why they are so concerned about unsafe releases, because the amount of times we've seen in the season is not a lot. I feel like, there's plenty of crashes during the race as well. So, I mean, that is dangerous too. And I'm like, in Baku, the thing that happened, we all know what I'm talking about. Pirelli, I'm looking at you, but it's just like there's other things they should be concerned about. Like, why would you want to slow down pit stops? I don't get it.
Well, the thing in Baku didn't even happen during a pit stop. So I don't even know why they think this is a good idea. The real battle is always made in the pit stop as well.
The problem I see with it is, imagine you're 1.1 of that mark you have to hit, and you have to redo the full sequence. You lose like, I don't know, maybe half a second, 1 second, and this is a race decider.
Yeah, and imagine like you have to depend on the sensor thing. Like, what if maybe it doesn't work, or there's an error, or something goes wrong? Like, it literally could fuck up a whole race for a team. No, don't do that.
I mean, I think we all agree that this apparent change that is supposed to come up is not necessary in our opinion. I mean, basically it feels like people are just salty that Red Bull is doing pit stops that are out of this world. I mean, as McLaren fans, some of us have a hard time watching pit stops. It hurts. It's painful, and sometimes it makes me very mad. But like, for real though, I feel like this is something that all the teams have to work on. I mean, we probably underestimate how much a pit crew practices these like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They practice that so hard. And I think this is definitely not something that would necessarily change the risk of unsafe releases, because the reasons for that lay somewhere else. So thank you guys for giving me your opinion on that. But now
I just hope it's speculation and not a real thing.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, this just popped up on Twitter and apparently on some other websites. So we were like, should we talk about this? So let's just say we quickly talked about this. You guys know our opinion now, but we will now quickly, fast move on, because this could end up in a rant about how the FIA is making mistakes, and I don't think we are ready for that conversation yet. It's too early in the season. Let's make that at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So as already mentioned, we will today talk about racetracks that are not in the current F1 calendar, but we would love to see them anyways, instead of like a double header in a certain country. So I will open the floor for you guys to start with whatever track you desire, and let's see what you guys got. What do you miss in the calendar?
Okay, my one, I'm very passionate about this track, and it's Hockenheim. I love that track. Like, I always, like, F1 2016 is my favorite game because I just always drive on Hockenheim. I just think it's such a great track. And like last year, the race we had, that was just amazing. And even the years before that. So I think they should just keep on the calendar for forever, really. So yeah, I'm really missing that one this year.
You have switched something, I believe.
What?
You said Hockenheim. Last year we were on Nürburgring.
Oh, now I mean the year before that.
2019. The 2019 race?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do mean Hockenheim, but I mean 2019. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
it's
either
just
of those. Okay.
Yeah, Nürburgring is also great, to be fair. So yeah.
But I think, Franz, you actually decided on Nürburgring, if I'm not completely wrong.
Yeah.
I thought you were not going to disappoint me, so thank you for.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, I believe it's just a classic track, like with the whole Nordschleife. Apparently, modern F1 cars can't race there because their suspension would break like after the fourth corner.
Okay.
Carnage.
But that's another thing.
Oh.
Yeah, the race last year was pretty good, in my opinion. And we had very good races in the past.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's say we might be a bit biased when it comes to German racetracks, but actually that is a topic that I want to touch on for a second, because I didn't choose a German track, but I still feel like a German GP, just judging from the history in the sport, is definitely missing. I feel like this is a country that has a great history with racing in general, and it's just a bit weird that suddenly there is no German GP anymore. And there are other countries that I feel like deserve a GP as well, because there are such great racetracks all over Europe, all over the world. So is there any other country where you guys are like, why are they actually never going there? Is there any country that you're missing as opposed to like just a track? But because I feel like that is actually something that is going on, where you have certain countries and then suddenly they decide, oh, we're not going to go there anymore because.
What I always think it's still a bit strange is that it's the World Championship Formula One, but we're not racing in Africa.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Still, we're not.
So no, I feel like it's the World Championship. Also, do a track in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
There was actually an interesting conversation about that on our Discord a while back, where we were talking about racetracks in different parts of the world that maybe are not the best suited for racing. I mean, temperatures in Africa would definitely be a bit problematic. You would probably have to invent a new tire compound that can last in like extreme heat waves. But we have the same thing with, like, let's say going to Siberia. Maybe we would have to drive cars on ice. Who knows? But
I would say that cool. ice tracks. Let's go.
Definitely. I want to see that.
I mean, what we all are missing, and you cannot tell me that I'm wrong here, is the rainbow track from Mario Kart. I want to see one on the rainbow track.
Oh God, yeah.
No, but like really, and then I'm like, let's talk about something that is coming up. Maybe Florida is joining the F1 calendar. What are we feeling about like a second American race? Do we feel like it's a good idea? Do we like the track? Have we seen the track? What are your thoughts on that one?
I love it. I'm not sure about the track because it's a street circuit. I'm just not. I mean, I have to see it first if it's going to be a good race or not. It's always a bit like you have to wait and see. But I'm I mean, come on, Florida. It's like if you have a F1 race there, it's just really cool. I would love to go there. And
Yeah.
I think for America, it's great because, I mean, they have a race already in America, but like, you know, to get more American fans into the sport, I think it's a great way to have more races
we hadn't any American driver in like years.
Yeah, true. But
Yeah.
I mean, who knows in the future? But I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I heard there are also rumors that I think Brazil will be skipped because of COVID. And there are talks of it being held on the Indianapolis track.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be very
Okay.
interesting, right? Yeah. So have two different races in America after each other.
I hope they won't drive on Pirellis there.
Those tires will be effed up.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
interesting. Yeah, that's actually
rumors, but that would be very exciting.
Yeah,
it would be definitely something new and something very unexpected. Like I wouldn't have ever expected them to go to Indianapolis. I personally think that Florida can be a sort of Monaco-ish kind of race, just from the vibe to it, because you know Florida is as much a high society spot as Monaco is. So it's going to be very interesting to see who's who that's going to walk around there, you know, like just seeing who might be interested
celebrities
in going there. Yeah, I mean, I don't
all the celebrities.
Yeah,
like let me look at who's coming over, and maybe next year I'll be there. But like I think it's a really, really interesting and very different vibe to Circuit of the Americas. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that the Formula One management is really trying to make Formula One more popular in America by adding another track.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really try to make Formula One as popular as, for example, NASCAR is right over there, or IndyCar.
Yeah,
they're really trying. I like their efforts. So yeah.
So Jaco, what is your track that you would love to see in the F1 calendar again?
Well, somehow it's not the best track, but it definitely brings some special feelings because it's Australia. We haven't been racing there for 2 years.
Oh, that's true.
And it's always the start of the season for me. It felt weird starting in, where was it? Bahrain?
Yeah,
it felt a bit weird. It's not starting in Australia, right? Yeah, I also feel for Daniel, like not being able to drive his home race. Yeah,
that is very.
But it's not my favorite track. But I just miss the whole vibe of the season starting over there.
Yeah, it's definitely very special each year, and it's just like it's a whole different part of the world for all of us. I mean, all of us are in the middle of Europe, really. Also, so that's just the other side of the world. So what are you guys actually thinking about Zandvoort, the new track? Are you guys hyped for it? I mean, you probably are, right?
We are biased.
Kind of.
I mean.
Yeah, we're going too. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous. Where's the German?
I'll miss out.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Franz and I just crying silently.
But I'm really excited. I think, I don't know how good the racing is going to be on the track because it's quite difficult to overtake, but just the whole atmosphere with all the crazy Dutch fans, it's going to be insane.
And they really made quite some adjustments to the track, and I think they really changed it for the better. Yeah, we'll have to see how it is, but I'm excited.
Yeah, have you done it yet? Have you been racing on Zandvoort in F1 2020?
Have you asked me? Yes.
Yes.
Well, you're the gamer.
Yes.
You're the gamer.
The F1 gamer.
Yes, a lot of time.
What are your
I
thoughts
spent,
from like the
um,
feel to it?
yeah, it's very hard to overtake there.
Mhm.
The front left tire will suffer a lot.
Oh Jesus.
Very high tire degrees. Like we have a lot of right-handers in there,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and you know you have the option to put on the tire management
Mm-hmm.
and the heat management, and it's like the other three tires are like in between 90 and 100 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
and the front left is always like from 100 to 110, and it's
Fiery.
impossible to keep that under 100 degrees.
Wow. So I guess tire management is definitely going to be a topic over there and strategies. So that's going to be very interesting. Well, I actually chose a track that I would love to see that hasn't been around for a very long time. I think the last race there was like 1978. So it's been a long, long time. And I chose the Scandinavian Raceway in Sweden. Because I mean, I love Sweden. Whoever knows me will be like, oh no, here she goes again talking about Sweden. But I actually think it's a cool track. So you have some nice long straights to overtake. You have a bunch of nice corners, very, very long corners, which is nice. So I really enjoyed that. But sadly, the track was, let's say it was a bit canceled because it turned out to not be the safest place to race at least not for Formula One, because apparently a few people died and then people didn't get too excited about the race over there anymore. And I mean, it wasn't probably a very good event because people didn't seem to enjoy watching that so much. So they decided to not race there anymore. But nevertheless, it's actually had a good few historic points because some of the more, let's say, unique F1 cars drove there. So like the Tyrrell, which was the six-wheeler, definitely not a very good looking car in my opinion. I think it's a bit weird, but that thing drove there.
Depends.
That thing drove there, and the Brabham fan car as well. And I just feel like it would be nice to, basically what we already touched on, it would be nice to go to places that are a bit different than just Central European or like Arabian or like that's like Asian corner that we're trying to go with. I feel like there are lots more places in the world with a lot more interesting conditions, and of course they are hard to work with, but then on the other hand side, I think that would be what makes it interesting to race there. But yeah, I mean, are we excited for double headers? Is that something that you guys look forward to? Let's say it's a track you really enjoy. Would you be like, yeah, let's drive there twice? Or is it more like, I mean, I like the track, but I much rather would have something different to look at the next week? What are your feelings about double headers in general?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like Pirelli tries to make the strategy different by using like different compounds each race, but I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Austria as a track, but I'd much rather go to a different one than do Austria twice.
I kill the vibe then. Austria double header, double Red Bull win. Wait, what?
Hey.
Well,
I like
think
Austria a lot. Like, it's really one of my more favorite tracks. But I mean, let's be honest. If it was Nürburgring, I'd be like, drive there all day, every day, each year, 5 billion times. I don't care. Let's go. But it's Austria. And therefore, I'm like, okay, it was interesting last year because it was basically the first time we saw something like this happening with the whole pandemic going on. Everyone was just relieved to see some kind of racing going on. But at the end of the day, I think what Formula One lives off is different places, different strategies, different track layouts. And these double headers, I mean, I don't expect anything surprising to happen in the second race. You know, we haven't seen the first one yet, so who am I to judge? No idea. But like, I don't think it's going to be that much different just because of different tire compounds and strategies that are supposed to be used.
Well, you could have a different track layout on Austria, but yeah, that would be like Bahrain 3.0.
Yeah.
No, just
with
not.
times under, let's say, 40 seconds.
That's like speed racing there.
It's like IndyCar then, basically.
Yeah, it's just like going in circles all the time. No, I think let's not change the layout in Austria. No, I think it's definitely something that Formula One has to look into. I mean, we have all these very, very historic tracks that all of our hearts love. You know, there are just tracks that you wouldn't want to miss on the calendar. But there are also tracks that have been in there for the longest time, and they're boring each year. So why not switch it up?
France.
Russia.
Russia, yes.
I hate Russia.
Russia's
no,
a bit
such
weird,
a-
right? What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Hungary? Let's quickly throw that the debate in here because I hate Hungary.
Well, I went to the Budapest Grand Prix in 2018.
Yeah.
It was actually really good because it's just really cheap. But as a country, I'm like, nah, no, thank you. But I thought the race was great, to be fair.
Okay.
There. But yeah, as a country, it's a no for me.
Okay, with that being said, I'm quiet now.
Franz just being the silent Hungary lover, just being here like, I love that track.
I mean, it's a good track, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this season has proven that every track can have its perfect moments. I mean, I mentioned that quite a couple of times that I really don't dig Baku. Like, it's a no for me. But this year's race was fire, and I wouldn't have wanted to miss that for the world. So there is that.
Same goes for France.
Yeah, I mean,
I was really surprised by that race.
It was surprisingly good, really.
Yeah.
It really was.
Speaking of accomplishment to me, I said 2-stop. Thanks
You
for
did
that.
You did that. You predicted that 2-stop, and everyone was like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. And then there they go, and they win the race.
Mario Isola was like, this will be a 1-stopper. Red Bull like, nope.
Nope. But don't trust Pirelli. Don't trust Pirelli. I don't trust them anymore. I'm not over that. I'm not over that. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the current calendar or changes that you think should be made to the racing calendar? I mean, a huge topic of conversation has been the environmental issues that Formula One is causing, of course, with their traveling expenses and stuff. So they have been trying to fix the schedule to make it a bit less polluting to the world. But is it really?
I mean, no, because literally there's 23 races this year. Like, come on, that's so much. And like, yeah, there's a double header, but I'm like, what? I mean, it's all about money for them, but they didn't need a second Austria race, for example. Like, they could have just left it and had 22 races. That's also enough. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Well, with maybe Brazil getting cancelled, they maybe
Japan is also maybe getting cancelled.
Yeah, maybe they drive like in Kota a second time or something like that. To bringing that up, Malaysia, here we go. I love that track.
Yes,
Oh.
that's a good one.
I love that track.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we need that one back.
Yeah.
Actually, lots of people love Malaysia, I think, and people have been crying about that track missing on Twitter for ages. So definitely Malaysia. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think Malaysia.
I want that one.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, you
I'm curious
guys.
to see what's gonna happen.
And you never know what happens there. I remember one year with all the rain and stuff.
Oh my God, the things have
It
been
was
crazy.
red flagged and never been restarted.
That was insane though. Like that, let's just hope something like that doesn't happen on a regular basis, because
Yeah,
it's kind of sad. But let's not go into the whole red flag and restart discussion. We had that a couple of weeks ago. It was intense. Not going back there. But thank you guys so much for joining me and talking about tracks that we're missing, the whole calendar thing. I hope we get to see some of our favorite tracks and tracks that we're missing in the calendar maybe next year, or if COVID comes around the corner. Let's just hope that some of these tracks maybe become interesting again, because I think it would be amazing to see how the modern age cars work on tracks that either are completely new or haven't been raced on in ages. So without further ado, with that being said, have a great week to everyone who's watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please look at all the links in the description below. We will have you updated on all of our social media channels, as well as on our Discord, as well as here on YouTube and on our blog. And until next week, see you then. Goodbye.